dressed for physical activity. I'm also not really in a space where I would prefer to be doing it, but it happens. We're at work, and there's no reason not to stay active in some way. So what we need today is I did have to switch out my office chair, which has wheels, for one that doesn't. So make sure that you're in a nice sturdy chair. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started sitting nice and straight in our chair, and we are going to just start with some shoulder rolls. So I'm going to start with those going back. And make sure with this you're sitting nice and tall, feet are flat and square in front of you. And then when you're ready, you can roll them forward. Just getting everything nice and warmed up. And I've got a timer, so I'm going to see if I can keep us on time today. So each of these will be about 15-20 seconds each. All right, our next one is to bring our hands up into kind of like a football goal position. And so from here, we're going to take our arms and just go up overhead and pull them down. And so really thinking about controlling this movement and really bringing them, and you can even, you can stop here or you can bring them down to your hips and really think about, like that imaginary rope that you're pulling down. I don't know what that machine at the gym is called, but I know that there's one that's like this. I don't really like machines in gyms, but this is an easy one. Again, looking for things that don't require a lot of space. And just nice and controlled, really engaging all the muscles as you're going. All right, we're going to shift a little bit. We're going to be seated still about halfway up your chair, and think about engaging your abs. And all we're going to do is just lift alternating feet. So you can even kind of lean back just a little bit to think about engaging your core and just having that like little toe step. Just barely touching your toe to the floor before you raise it again. Remembering to be breathing. It's so easy to just hold our breath. If you guys do that during meetings, I think sometimes I forget to breathe even during meetings. It's important to check in with your body throughout the day. Make sure that you've got that core engaged, really holding your back flat, but away from the back of the mat or back of the chair. Okay. So now we're going to have our legs spread a little bit apart. We're going to hinge at the hips and come forward and just do a fly motion. I'll move my keyboard here. And arms are just going to kind of curl under your seat. And again, not floppy movements, really controlled, thinking about squeezing those shoulder blades together. It's always so fun to see everyone's different backgrounds. For folks who don't know extension, my office is a good example of the chaos that is a health educator's office. All right, a few more of these. Again, making sure that your back is straight, core is engaged, and really pulling those shoulder blades together as you come up. All right. The next one that we're going to do, again, still seated, is we're going to just raise one leg up, kind of toe touch to the side, and then come back down. Toe touch out and back down. And it doesn't have to be a really high lift with your foot. Just be small, depending on what's comfortable for you. Back still straight, not really leaning too far, keeping good control. foot's flexed to point your toe. A couple more times on each side. All right, perfect. Okay, so now we're going to do some pushes with our arms. So starting in this position, hands nice and flat, we're just going to push out in front of you, kind of like you're pushing someone away. If you haven't had a good day, maybe you need to do that. Hopefully not. And you can add a little twist in the torso if you'd like. We're going to do a little bit more of that pretty soon. So really just focused on keeping those arm muscles, keeping the arms up, not letting the elbows fall down. Just pushing away. Hopefully by now you're feeling a little bit warm. All right, so from here, we're gonna do some side bends. So sitting nice and tall, we're just gonna take our hand and reach down, touch your tip of your finger to the floor. If you can. If you can't, it's okay. Just touch as far down as feels comfortable. And just really thinking about engaging those side oblique muscles, protecting your back, which is nice and straight. And again, nice, slow, controlled movements. It's not a race. We're not trying to get any certain number done. Just spending about 15, 20 seconds on each of these. Okay, now we're going to go back to that torso I was talking about. We're going to bring our hands up here. And if you've got a back on your chair, we're going to focus on touching your elbow to the back of your chair. And just twisting through the torso. If you had a small weight in your office, like hand weights, you could add hand weights to a lot of these exercises, just for a little extra effort. A couple more on each side. All right. So now we're going to do some single leg calf raises. So your feet are nice and square in front of you. And you're just going to lift, start with your right foot, just up, bringing it up. You guys can't see my feet, but focus on just bringing up your calf to raise it, and then you want to almost push it back down. And then raise the left one, push it back down, just to give it some resistance. One hand on each. Or if you don't want to use your hands, you can just focus on raising each foot to activate your calf muscle. This is a good time to remind you to drink enough water throughout the day. Whenever I don't drink water, I get Charlie horses, which is what I think of every time I do calf raises. So if you haven't had enough water today, this is a good chance to remind yourself to do that. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is a chair sit-up. So you're still sitting about halfway up your chair. You want to put your arms across, lean slightly back, and then bring yourself up. So you're just doing that sit-up motion right in your chair. Just think about engaging the core, keeping your back nice and straight, your feet stay on the ground. pulling yourself up with your ab muscles. All right. Next, we're going to do some leg extensions. So our foot's going to come out and just curl under, right under the seat. So you can do the first side, just nice and controlled, extending that leg and really controlling it as you curl it underneath the chair. And then you can switch and do the other side. Again, just nice, slow movements. Just do it at the pace that feels good to you. And we have just a couple more of these. All right, the next one is kind of fun. You spread your knees out wide, cross your hands across your chest, and we're going to come down and really engage your core and your back muscles to pull yourself up. So if you're doing this one in the office, you might want to let your coworkers know that you're fine, everything's fine. But want to control, have a nice flat back, and again, not a real quick jerky motion, just nice and controlled. Probably feels really good if you've been sitting in an office chair for too long, which is the case for too many of us. All right, wonderful. The next one, last one we're going to do before stretching, just to put our arms out and just do arm flutters. And we're going to start with our palms facing down. And in a few minutes, we're going to turn our hands up and switch it over. But just nice and quick, but still controlled. Back is straight. And then flip it over, palms up. Okay. With that, we're just going to take a couple shoulder rolls. Backward and forward. When you're ready, take a deep breath up. Grab your left wrist and pull to the right side. Back up when you're ready, and then switch over to your left side. And big breath down. All right, that does it. That's 15 minutes.